Brown, and I've got Bridgette House with me today. And this is our new podcast at Thistle and Bee, Pollinated. So if you do like what we're doing, like our conversations, please hit subscribe. We would love to have you be a part of this voice and this taking our pollinated opinions and branching them out further past our own community, hopefully past Memphis. So super glad that you're here. Super glad that you're here today, Bridgette.
Thanks for having me.
Bridgette House is a graduate of the Thistle and Bee program. If you don't know, Thistle and Bee is a nonprofit here in Memphis, Tennessee. We are a 2-year residential program. We offer employment through our social justice enterprise, and we offer outpatient services through our Healing Hive and Wellness Center. I am also a graduate of Thistle and Bee. It was super important to me to get Bridgette here as my first interviewee. I look up to her still today, and from the moment I came into Thistle and Bee, you were somebody that was just blazing, and somebody that was on fire and to watch. It was nice to see somebody living in this different lifestyle that was you looked like you was living. You were enjoying life, and I wanted to enjoy life with you.
Thank you. That means so much for you to say that.
And I feel like we're still enjoying life together.
We do. We do.
We definitely are. So super glad that you're here, and just want to ask you some questions because I feel like your pollinated opinion really matters for sure to me, but I think it does really a lot to the entire community. Since graduation, you've blossomed and become a huge person in the field of services here with mental health and recovery in Memphis, and just want to get your voice out there even more. So if you don't mind, let's start at the beginning. What was your life like before Thistle and Bee?
I am the oldest of 3 children of my siblings. I have both of my parents was involved in some type of addiction. My daddy was an alcoholic, and my mother was, I called her a purse-toting drug addict. And meaning, what I mean by that is she would go from doctor to doctor to get prescriptions, and she become dependent on them. Okay. I like I said, I'm the oldest of 3 children, and with them having both of their addictions active, I had to raise my brother and sister and help bring them up to where they could have some type of a healthy lifestyle.
So do you feel a lot of the times as we're growing up, we watch our parents, they're our role models. Do you feel as if you kind of followed in their footsteps from like learning from, what'd you call your mom?
Purse-toting drug addict.
Yeah, that. Or, were there things that you can look back today and be like, I kind of learned, that's a learned behavior?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I question the fact whether or not it's genetic. I don't know if genetics have anything to do with it, but it is learned behavior because this is all that I ever knew. Watching my parents party, and it wasn't only my parents, it was my grandparents, it was my aunts and my uncles, and we all had, it's all I ever knew, and I thought that was my normal. So naturally, when I was old enough to move out and be on my own, that's what I went to. I went to partying and having fun, and because it's all I ever knew.
My childhood was like that. Like our parents had parties where the entire family, which I liked the aspect of like that community where they gathered, everybody was having a good time. It was all of our loved ones. It felt safe. I didn't really see an issue with it as a kid, and I can say similar. Like my environment showed me a lot of behaviors that I learned.
More the merrier, right?
Yep, because it was such a good time.
Right.
Why not have more?
Right.
Like my parents, it was holiday stuff, but why only the holidays? Why not? Why don't we do this every night?
We had cookouts where my aunts and my uncles would come over, and just some of the things that I saw as a child that I thought was okay, like the police coming to my grandmother's house because someone was drunk and got into an altercation with somebody else in my family. Um, my aunt driving a car through the garage.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, just all of these things, and it even my aunts and my uncles were raised with addiction because that's what they knew.
Did anyone else in your family, so you obviously you've sought services for your substance use. Did anyone else in your family, is that a path that they took?
Absolutely not. They did not. And I knew that this was something that I had to break the cycle with because I have two children, and I have lost one of my sons to addiction. I lost him in 2018. And I got sober in 2019, but that year from the time I lost him until I decided to get sober, I didn't think that I was going to be able to continue life because I was in so much pain and it hurt so bad. So, yeah, that year was probably my toughest year of my addiction history.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Um, that is a super sensitive place for me. Of course, because I love you and I hate, some of the experiences that we have in our lives, how hard they can be. And I know how hard it was for me whenever I lost custody of my son. So I can only just imagine that year that you had. If you don't mind sharing some of it, what was that year like? So you had, would you consider before that was addiction, but did it change that year?
Yeah, basically, I turned into a trash can. I would put anything in my body to make me feel different than what I was feeling. And that's anything from street drugs to prescriptions, just whatever I could possibly find. And it wasn't only the drugs, it was a lifestyle that I became addicted to. I I loved the noise, the loudness of it, the people that I was around, and it was chaotic. And the more chaotic it was, the better I felt.
So the noise and that chaos. I always felt like at the beginning of this journey, um, it was like I missed the drama. And that's what the noise seemed like to me, was this constant looking over your shoulders, but also this excitement and this mischievous behavior that's happening with this group over here, and I'm going to get in. And so, was that kind of the lifestyle that you were in that last year?
Oh, yeah. And when I say noise, I'm talking about gunshots. I'm talking about fights. I'm talking about women getting beaten. And it's just part of the lifestyle that goes along where I was at because I was homeless at the time, and I had been homeless for quite some years. Um, and I just one day it was almost like a light switch clicked on to me because I thought that I was going to die in the streets. I didn't think that there was any hope left for me. I know what my life was before my addiction kicked in, and I was a go-getter. I was a wonderful mother. I was a nurturer. I was a good sibling. I was a good friend. And I just spiraled. I spiraled, and when I went hard. And they talk about us in our recovery book about a woman being the real thing, and that was me. I was just like the story that they talk about in the big book. Um, and when I went, I tried anything possibly I could do, just something to change the way I feel, whether it was men, whether it was money, whether it was drugs. I wanted to change. I didn't want to feel anything. and it was a good escape for me.
So, with that being said, you at one point you were, it sounds like, proud of the person that you was at some point in your life, to where,
Absolutely.
you know, good mom, had things. Was there a point, what was it that you were escaping, what was it that you was running from that got you to want to seek substance use to escape life?
I knew that there was something missing in my life, and I didn't know what it was until I actually got sober. Um, this time, I was spiritually bankrupt. I had no spirituality in me whatsoever, and I didn't have any type of guidance from a higher power. I was never involved in religion or in church. I did go to a private school, but I did everything I could possibly do to escape the religion part of it. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So basically, it was me being spiritually bankrupt. I didn't have any type of guidance whatsoever.
So you feel possibly having like a spirituality aspect in your life or religion, like some sort of guidepost was missing, and that is possibly, is that what you found now?
Absolutely. And it. This is not something that came to me naturally. This is something that I had to learn. And by being in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, it did bring me to a higher power, which I call God, and learning to be spiritual and feeling the way that I have, having the peace of mind that I have today. And I know that it's 100% a reflection of my higher power. And I've learned how to deal with obstacles that come my way, drama, chaos. There's no room for it in me anymore. And if it does hit me, I know how to deal with it rather than change the way I feel.
So I'm also a friend of Bill's, so I understand somewhat with that higher power and how that has been super helpful. And you're one of the people that I reach out to in my hard times, and super thankful for you being there. And then, of course, AA being there. What do you feel like are some, what is some of your coping skills with when you do have a challenging time? Because AA tells us that now we know how to intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle us.
Correct.
So it sounds like we both probably had situations that used to baffle us. So today in this new life, what what are those coping skills? What have you learned throughout your recovery of how to handle that?
Well, having a strong support system, and you are definitely a huge part of my support system. We talk basically every day, and we talk about whatever's going on in our lives. That and then learning how to ground myself and stay in the present rather than going back to where I was or worrying about what tomorrow is going to bring. I stay right here, right now. And I've learned how to deal with life 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. And that's how I deal with my life today. What comes to me, I can handle it a lot better instead of me trying to control the world like I used to do. And I had to have everything perfect and want everything to go my way. And it's not even my way anymore. It's my God.
Yeah. So, a big saying in recovery that I continuously hear is, if I had it my way, I would shortchange myself. And I have found that to be true in my life with a lot of the things that, especially early on in recovery and changing my life in this journey, that if life would have went the way that I was hoping and what I thought needed to be, it definitely would have been a short change than what my higher power had in store for me. So, if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the things throughout your life since this journey has began that has been provided or has happened through your hard work, but also through what your higher power has had in store for you?
Something I did not know is I had to heal from inside. Um, and I had a lot of healing to do. And I had no idea how to start. And Thistle and Bee gave me that opportunity. They let me being surrounded by women that understood me and where I was at in my journey gave me the door to open up to honesty, of being vulnerable, of being a support person to people who needed me and also to be supported. And they say at Thistle and Bee, I'm going to love you until you can love yourself. I did not love myself, and that was true for me. I had a whole tribe of women at Thistle and Bee that could see where I was at and didn't judge me. And I started healing from within. I could be honest and start talking about my story without judgment and start healing from within.
I love that part when you were saying a group of women that understands me.
Mm-hmm.
So, was this the first recovery facility or treatment center that you had been to seeking a new way or a new life? And I know with me, it wasn't. And I felt that same way of like, I finally found a place where they understand me and the residents that are there also understand me. So tell me what your experience was like with being finally understood and what that means.
I knew me and I knew what type of addict I was. And I had tried 30-day programs before, and that does nothing. That does nothing but detox you basically, temporarily. Um, and I knew that I needed more than a 30-day program. I knew that I needed more than a 6-month program. I need something long term, whatever that looked like. And originally, I tried to go to Thistle Farms in Nashville, and the universe did not see me going there. There was a tornado that hit the place that I was supposed to go to, and so I ended up coming to Memphis right at the beginning of the pandemic, as a matter of fact. So it was all a very unique experience. But you know, we were close knit. All the women of the house, we were close knit, and the team that we had there too was also really strong with us as far as getting us growth and help strengthening us and loving us till we could love ourselves.
I feel the same way. I
Mm-hmm.
love that at Thistle and Bee, we are sisters for life.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's nice. Like, there's so many people out in the world that openly talk about addiction, but they don't necessarily talk about all the things that happen in life, either because of addiction or was, even more because of addiction. So, with Thistle and Bee being for women, women like us
Mm-hmm.
that have a life experience that does involve commercial sexual exploitation and addiction. I know for me, I look back at rehabs that I've went to or homeless shelters that I've been at, and anytime I said what my life looked like, it was either dismissed or praised as if, oh, wow, you have a sugar daddy. Oh, wow, you have this extra source of income. And, or I was just put down and, disregarded as a hooker or whatever. Coming to Thistle and Bee was such a breath of fresh air for me to be able to accept what my life was, but also see that I wasn't alone. Did that impact you in any way?
Girl, I'm gonna tell you something. When I read about Thistle and Bee, it was just like God went, "Here's where you're going to go. This is what you need. And when I read the description of what all the program involved and everything, I said, man, how perfect can this be? This is exactly what I need. And I want to say this for those that are out there. If you are in this box that believes that sex exploitation is nothing but prostitution, that's all you're selling your body, you need to do some more investigating in on it. You can be exploited by your husband. You can be exploited by your father. You can be exploited by yourself. So find out what it really means before you start getting opinionated on what you think it really is.
I think that's a great thing to bring up, because so many, I feel as if it's not that they don't want to know. I feel as if they're just not aware of how prevalent sexual exploitation is, or like you said, like what it is. And I'm curious. So for me, my exploitation started in a rural area, which a lot of people, you see it on movies or TV. It's the white van. It's crossing state lines. It's in another country. And it's hard for a lot of people to wrap their mind around that it is happening for sure in rural areas, but most definitely it's happening here in Memphis. And so I'm curious, were you in Memphis, or where were you at throughout that experience of exploitation in your life?
I was absolutely in Memphis. I grew up basically in Memphis, but as I graduated high school, I got married and I moved to DeSoto County, and it's like a totally different world there. And something drew me back to Memphis. I don't know what it was, but I came back, and after I had failed marriages, I came back and tried to start a different type of life. And I'm going to say this. My addiction was so powerful that I would do anything I possibly could do to get high. And to be able to not feel anything that I was feeling inside. It was a good way for me to numb everything. And one man told me something, and it was just like he said, do it. He said, girl, you are sitting on your biggest money maker. Go get your money. And I didn't know what it meant, but I did after he described it to me, and it was true. It was true. I could get money real quick, real fast, and get my drugs real quick, real fast.
On that, what are your thoughts, if you don't mind me asking? So sometimes we look at the illegal activity of the sex industry, and then we look at the legal activity. And so here in Memphis, we do have a handful of strip clubs. And then we have areas of Memphis, like, let's say, Lamar Avenue, where you go down and you see women working the streets. They're in front of the motels. Where is the line in that to you? Do you consider both detrimental or harmful, possibly, to individuals that are partaking in exploiting themselves, whether it's dancing at a strip club or out soliciting people for sex?
Okay, I will tell you, I never worked at a strip club. I never partaked in a strip club. I never walked the streets of Lamar. I never had a pimp. None of that. And when I said that sex is probably one of the biggest industries there is, it is. Women can get what they want wherever they are. You was in a small rural town. I was in a small community in Memphis. you don't have to isolate to be exploited. And I didn't. I didn't. Wherever I went, I could work.
Mm-hmm. And what age were you when you began doing this work?
I was a late bloomer. I was probably 37, 38. So I was late, but I continued into my late 50s.
And earlier you said it seemed as if you were saying that it might have been possibly fueled by your drug addiction. Is that was your addiction in full swing? Was that why you were seeking more money?
It was a vicious circle. I had trauma. I didn't like the way I was feeling. I felt like something was constantly missing in my life. I tried it with men. I tried it with money. I tried it with drugs. Well, drugs was the quickest thing that would numb me. And if if you're addicted to something, you're going to try the very best way you can to get it. And that was the easiest and fastest way. God knows I was not employable at a real job. I went for weeks without taking a shower. I never changed my clothes hardly. And I pretty much just let myself go completely because I just didn't care anymore. I was hopeless. I thought I was.
And that came from your drug addiction?
Yes.
So what once was a way to escape and to numb out some feelings became something that was giving you hard feelings.
It was a way of life for me. It's what I thought I was going to die from. I didn't think anything was able to change.
And look at you now.
I know.
Such a change. So tell me, speaking of change, as you were in Thistle and Bee and now you've graduated, how long has it been?
I graduated in 2022, in the spring of 2022.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What an amazing day. Oh, it was an amazing day. She got a car that day. So it was so beautiful. And I got to see your siblings that you mentioned earlier, and your cousin that showed up. Your graduation was beautiful.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing a lot of those sensitive subjects of this very small portion of your journey through life that involved some heavy things. But I want to speak so much into the change that has happened because I know I've seen so much change, but so has your family, and that was a huge portion of the people that showed up for your graduation at Thistle and Bee. So tell me some about your family and the changes that have been happening.
When I came to Thistle and Bee, I was incredibly broken, and I had burned almost every bridge that I had in my life. I was lonely. I was tired and broken, and never would I have imagined that a place that I went to heal, which was Thistle and Bee, would also teach me leadership skills for my future. It has been such a gift. Like you said earlier, I was on fire, and I was on fire. I wanted this life more than I wanted the air I breathed. I mean, I wanted it more than anything. And I was willing to go to any lengths to get it. And I did whatever they asked me to do. And it started by making amends to my family, to my loved ones. My circle looks totally different today than what it used to. It's not as big as it was. But the people that I had in my circle prior to me getting sober, I didn't need in my circle. It was very toxic. Today, I have a relationship with my family. My brother lives with me. My sister lives 6 or 7 miles from me. We have a very close relationship. I have a son and a daughter-in-law with 5 grandbabies
My gosh.
that wants me in their life more than anything. As a matter of fact, I got to spend the day with them yesterday. My newest, Lucy Grace, she's 3 months old.
Oh.
And then I have Savannah, she's 6, and she's kind of like my little mini me.
Yeah.
And then I have Swayze. I also have Ellison
Mm-hmm.
and Callie. Callie belongs to my son that I lost. And I don't get to see her as often as I do the others, but it is such a gift to have these people in my life and be able to do for them. If I want to go to the store and buy them whatever they want, I can do that today. I've worked hard to get where I'm at, and there's nothing like being able to share it with the people I love.
And I know you said that it is a gift to you to have them, but I know that it's a huge gift to them to have you back. I could see it in all the interactions, whether that was your son or the grandkids, because like you said, Samantha is like a mini you. She is so precious, and you spend a lot of your off time with family.
I do. I do. I want to do things that make me happy. And I do things with intent. And being happy is intentional to me. I'm not going to do anything that makes me sad anymore. I'm not going to do anything that causes me harm anymore. I have too much to live for.
So, what are some of the things that you have done with your family that has brought you such joy?
Oh, well, I've been able to travel on cruises with my sister.
Yeah, you have.
Every year she has taken me on a cruise to the Caribbean, and we just have the most wonderful time. Um, my children, I get to cook dinner for them on Sundays. We get to pile up and watch movies together and come over and eat popcorn and make cookies together. And come the holidays, I get to do the whole decorating of the house thing and cook Thanksgiving for my family and also my roommate's family. And it's just such a blessing to be able to give of myself. And I guess it's part of my love language to be able to do that.
I think it is. I
Yeah.
can taste the love in your food when you cook for us. So, the holidays are quickly approaching.
Hmm.
And so, you said that you'll be cooking for family and your roommate's family. How large of a crowd are you cooking for?
I have probably 30 to 40 people come into my house on Thanksgiving. But the next day on Friday, I have a wedding reception to cater for 60 people. And then that Saturday, I have the wedding to cater for 160 people. So I'm going to be busy.
So, do you have a catering business or what is this?
No, I do not. This is something that I used to do on the side in my addiction to kind of make up some money and pay things that maybe needed to be paid if I put it in a priority thing. And but I do not, but I do enjoy doing it.
And you are known here as a cook because I've done a catering gig with you, which blew me away. All the hard work that went into it because I thought I was going to come in there, you was going to hand me a pan, I'd throw it in the oven. So to hear that you are cooking a Thanksgiving meal for, you said 30 to 40,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next day 60,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next day 100 and something. So will you be doing this in your home? Do you have a place that you're
There's a
cooking?
venue that we're going to be doing it at.
And is it just you, or is there people helping you? Do you have a team?
My dear sister's going to help me this year.
Oh, wow. I will be at your Thanksgiving meal.
And I'm so happy.
I show up. It has become part of like my tradition. And so, what are some new traditions now that you do in this new life with your family, friends, your work?
I do things like celebrate birthdays with my grandkids. We make a day of it, and we make it a big deal. A lot of things that I missed in my childhood, I try to make a point to include it in my grandchildren's and my son's life. My son and my daughter. She's my daughter-in-law, but I call her my daughter. She's precious.
Uh-huh.
Um, just being present, being available, and just letting them know that I'm there for them if they ever need me for anything.
There's lots of people in this community that you are there for. So I want to start to talk about who all you are there for. I know, so your family is huge in your life, and we can definitely, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed that there's another community that is huge in your life right now with your career that you've built. So,
right.
Bridgette is the program director at another nonprofit here in Memphis called Judicare. Tell us a bit about Judicare and the population that you are there for and help serve so much.
Judicare has probably been my most gratifying job that I've had in my career. I get to work with men from recovery courts. I get to work from the recovery court teams. When I say recovery court, I'm talking about vet court, drug court, mental health court. And, guys that have been involved in the judicial system for whatever reason, I get to show them that does not define who they are. And we try to change their life and make their life stronger and better by offering classes like IOP, mindfulness, yoga, wellness, seeking safety, smart recovery. There's a whole list, equine therapy. There's a whole list of education tools that we offer the clients at Judicare. And I get to watch them grow. And that's probably one of the biggest things I have got to experience in my recovery is being able to watch people's lives change and being a part of it and being able to say, wow, she grabbed a hold or he grabbed a hold of whatever it was we were talking about and the lessons and their experiences that I was able to share with them. It made a difference. And that's meant so much to me.
Do you feel like having the background that you do with your own recovery journey, do you think that that helps impact the people that you work with on their recovery journey? Does that make a difference with y'all having not the same, but similar types of experiences throughout life?
A lot of the men that I worked with, if I tell them, I know exactly where you're at. I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly what you're thinking. No, you don't. Well, yes, I do. I really do. And, so I tell them just little small bits of my story and the things that work for me in my life, the willingness, the honesty, the open-mindedness, all the things that I had to do to sacrifice to become a better person. And I've learned how to give of myself to where people trust me because I do show hope. I hope that I do.
Oh, I show up over there and I can tell by the interactions with the men that are in that program and you, it has a homey feeling.
Good. That's what I want.
Yep, and that's what it does.
I want a safe place for them, some place that they feel like is safe.
I can definitely tell, It seems as if it's a safe space. It's safe enough. I love coming over with y'all. I love coming and supporting y'all's mission and being there to help. What are some ways that people can help with Judicare here in Memphis? How can we support y'all's mission?
Uh, there's a website that we have is Mid-South Sober Living. We can take donations from that. Of course, monetary donations at any time. But of course, the men, they need things, supplies, housing supplies, clothes, any type of donations like that of the sort. And then, of course, we like for Thanksgiving's coming up. You know, home cooked food is great.
Okay, so tell me, how can people contact if they want to donate or help out?
MidSouthSoberLiving.org.
Wonderful. MidSouthSoberLiving.org.
Or they can contact me at Judicare and during office hours, which is 9 to 5. As long as there is staff there, you can drop off donations at Judicare.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for this interview and sharing how the community can help and also how you're helping the community. Super glad that you are a part of the healing of Memphis. And thank you.
And you are too.
And thank y'all for also being a part of healing our community and being here as a support system for not just Thistle and Bee and not just Judicare, but Memphis as a whole. And then, like she said, if you're looking to help them, MidSouthSoberLiving.org. If you'd like to help out with Thistle and Bee, you can go to thistleandbee.org. We have opportunities to volunteer. We have donation links. We also take donations at our store, which is located at Chickasaw Oaks Shopping Center off Poplar Avenue. You can drop donations off there when the store is open. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Pollinated. We hope you've enjoyed this wonderful conversation that we've had and hope that this spreads our pollinated opinions and also y'all's. If you've liked what you've heard, please share this with friends, colleagues, people in the community. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we look forward to having you join us for our next Pollinated Opinion conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.